Good morning, YouTube. Today I want to talk about why you gotta be really careful when buying cars at auction.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and we're at my dealership, NG Supercars, and Josh is going to be joining us in just a second because he's got some strong opinions on this one. And we recently got kind of screwed on an auction. What are the odds? Admittedly, it was the wholesale auction, which are a little bit scarier than, bring a trailer or cars and bids, but we're going to talk about some of the things that make any auction a little bit more of a problem than just buying a car outright. And the second thing we're going to talk about is how, we bought a car at Barrett-Jackson, and in our opinion, they did some pretty sketchy things. So let's talk about all that. Okay, so like I was saying, let's start off with Barrett-Jackson. As on the whole, you'd think that they're a pretty legit organization. They seem so. But there was two things that happened. One, our particular car, when I bid on it, so I bid up to where I wanted to be, and then I stopped bidding. And then the bids kept going, right? So I'm sitting here, and it went $20,000 higher than what I bid. And that was on the TV showing that. It was showing that on the click to bid button. So if I wanted to, I could have bid again, and it would have gone up $20,000. They have this whole formula where they get up the bids, blah, blah, they get hype, and then they take a quick pause, they talk about the car, and then they do 20 more seconds of bidding and then close it out, right? Well, as soon as they talk about the car and they come back to the bidding, they start cutting the price, and it drops down $5,000, another $5,000, another $5,000. They're
shill bidding.
So they shill bid it way up. So it fell all the way back down to my bid. So it fell down $20,000. And then it was oh, you are the high bidder, even though I could have clicked bid and gone up $20,000.
Yeah.
What bothers me about that is if I was the high bidder and they shill bid, they should have made it so I can't bid again because I am the actual highest bidder.
They're trying to just get people to bid more.
That was kind of crappy, in my opinion. I didn't like that a lot. Anyway.
And that happens at every auction I've been to. Even the crappy $5,000 car, $2,500 car, $1,000 car, junk car auctions, they do the same thing. They're preying on people, especially at Barrett, which those people don't have experience, a lot of them bidding. They'll just go for it. Oh, someone else is bidding. I still want to keep going.
Right, yeah. And if I had, let's say...
How many millions of dollars do you think they've skimmed off the top?
Right, with the extra bids.
A lot.
Well, and you saw, when we were watching cars, we saw a lot of cars where it would go way up and then they would come way back down. So I'm assuming that's what was happening.
Yeah.
The second thing that kind of bothered me about Barrett is they didn't really show VINs or miles.
They only show the miles on the ones that are super low.
Right.
The ones that are higher, they did not announce the mileage, had said nothing about it. It wasn't on any of the paperwork, any of the brochures. You had to go there and look at the odometer.
Luckily, Josh was out there, so I would be looking up cars, and he'd be I was here's the 10 cars that I think we should buy.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't go look at them, and he comes back, and he's crap,
They were all so bad. There's some people out there, I feel sorry for some people that paid what they did for those cars because they're way overpaid.
The fees are huge. I mean, 12% buyer's fees.
They're just making they're printing money at those auctions, especially Barrett and Mecum and stuff. I mean, because they have their hands are washed as soon as you're the winning bidder on that car. They're done with you.
Yeah.
They want their money and they're done with you.
Oh, and they only gave us 3 days to pay and pick up the car. Otherwise, they're gonna start charging us storage. So I mean, you gotta be you gotta have your money ready, all that stuff. You better be ready to go. That situation kind of was frustrating. But the other thing I want to talk about is how you can kind of get screwed on any auctions, and this is even applicable to cars and bids and bring a trailer and all that stuff. And that is when you're buying cars at auctions, you don't really have the opportunity to go and look at the cars. And this is more for when you're online. Obviously, if you're in person, with Barrett-Jackson, Josh was there. But when we're buying cars on the wholesale market or whatever, we don't have really the opportunity to go see cars that are in California before we bid on them, or in Florida or whatever. It would be impossibly expensive. And the same thing happens for you guys if you're doing cars and bids or bring a trailer. Now, they do sort of have PPI stuff you can do or whatever, but...
They do a post-purchase inspection you can pay for at Manheim and Odessa and those. And it's a complete ripoff. They literally spent 30 seconds on the car looking over for $300.
We paid for a post inspection on one of our cars, and then the car still came with an oil leak and all this other stuff.
It passed PSI, post sale inspection, And we got it here and it had an oil leak from the cam cover and some other stuff, and so we had to arbitrate it, and they took it back, thankfully. Those inspections are garbage.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, like, for us trying to buy cars in the wholesale auction, they try and give you a rating, and the rating is always crap. We recently got kind of fleeced on this Mustang GT 350R. So I'll show you some stuff about it. Basically, it was rated as a 4.3, which is a pretty good car, like out of 5, right? So 0 to 5. And a 4.3 is like, it's going to have some, like, maybe some little scratches or like a
Bald tires.
A scrape on the wheel or something. Maybe the dash is a little bit messed up or something. But it shouldn't be anything substantial. The car gets here, and it's
a basket case.
It's a turd. So check this out. It has like a horribly sun-faded wing. There's clearly been damage to the body because this panel gap is awful. This whole panel has orange peel, so it's definitely been repainted. Just crap going on. It's got these rusted out studs. These are sun faded. The wheels aren't the correct wheels. And you can see there's like overspray right there. There was overspray all over the glass. There was a front piece missing right here. This is sun faded and cracked. I mean, just everything you can think of. Oh, these are sun faded. Like, how did this get sun faded in only 13,000 miles? Makes no sense. Oh, and by the way, it's been repossessed. That's right. Yeah. That was not disclosed either.
The entire car's been repainted. There's unibody damage in the back. The wheels have been changed out. They changed out the carbon ceramic brakes. It smelled like mold inside.
Yeah, the paint job that they did was awful. There was orange peel everywhere. There was overspray on the windows.
And we should have known because it's a give me the VIN. Sorry guys, you guys got to get better at your condition reports because they're terrible. I called them and told them to arbitrate it and sent them pictures, and they're like, no, sorry. And we're like, okay, fine. We're done buying from you guys. That's it. Because we've bought a lot of cars from them, and they never show up as they are described.
Well, every time we have a car that's from them that we're interested in, we always subtract one from the condition report.
So we're just saying from now on, the sale is in Dallas, so we can go up there. It takes a day. We can go look at them before and know what we're in for.
It's still difficult though, because it's 3+ hour drive for us to go up to Dallas, and so that basically makes an entire day of 3 hours up, doing the auction, 3 hours back. You're talking, 8-10 hours, and it's a long day.
It's a long day, but yeah, I mean, the amount of money we're spending, it's got to be done.
We took a beating on that Mustang, so unfortunately, we didn't feel comfortable selling it back to any of you. We didn't think the car was good enough, and so we actually sold it back on the wholesale market, and some other dealer's going to...
And I had to announce all of that stuff that was wrong with it, and we took a loss on it because of that.
Yep. So basically, you guys got to be careful when you're, because the same thing is applicable to when you're buying cars on Cars and Bids or Bring a Trailer or any of those auctions, because you don't really get to see the car. Now, yes, they take a lot of pictures, and people chat it up and
I will
whatever.
say that Bring a Trailer and Cars and Bids is probably a little better because those people are car enthusiasts and they're trying to represent their cars for the most part as they
You're
actually
still relying
are.
on pictures.
Right.
You're still not there in person, and pictures can still hide a lot of stuff. Videos can hide a lot of stuff.
Don't get caught up in the excitement of it because you only have 7 days from when the car's listed to when it ends. So you need to get out there and look at it if you're serious about it. And it's
honestly, I mean, I would say if I was dead serious about buying a car, you really can't though, because they won't let you find out the person's information, right?
You can message them and set up a time to look at it. We've had the cars we've sold. We've had people ask.
That's true.
Yeah, you can do it, but it has to be done like really quickly.
Really quickly, yeah.
And then you don't even know if you're going to get it, so it's like,
it's a lot of risk.
It's tough. Cars and Bids does Lemon Squad or something like that. That's worthless. I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, like on a normal car maybe, but
Yeah.
like if you're buying a Ferrari or some higher end car,
Yeah.
I mean, are they really going to know all the little weird things that go wrong on this particular model of Ferrari versus that particular model?
I've had, back when I was running my Hoopty lot, people pay for a PPI for like Lemon Squad, and then there was another one called like Lemon Busters. And they'd come out and like look at everything and write it all down and give me the report on what's wrong with it. And I'm like, well, I told the customer like these 4 things were wrong and you didn't even catch that stuff. So how good is this report? Like,
Yeah.
you guys, it's terrible.
I just feel like it's just another way for someone to take your money.
Here's the other thing that you should know. This happens a lot at the Hoopty auctions and like the regular CarMax auctions, Mannheim, Odessa, whatever. There'll be a car there that there's a lot of people interested in. This especially happens on cars that get exported overseas, like Range Rovers and certain Toyotas and certain Mercedes and things like that. There's guys that go to the auction and they'll unplug a MAF sensor, or they'll unplug a suspension sensor, or they will, you know, do something malicious or unplug the underneath the seat to turn the airbag light on. And so you got all these warning lights on the dash, and their hope is, oh, everybody's scared of it, I'm going to get that car.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it cheap.
I'm going to get it cheap because everybody's scared of it. And that happened all the time. You got to get kind of good at, like, if it has an airbag light on, it's a newer car, you're like, all right, they probably pulled a plug. So you take your scanner with you and you check it, or you look under the seat or whatever. I've seen so many cars that happen to.
So sketchy.
Yeah, so if you buy a car at the auction, it's got something weird like that going on, likely it was tampered with, and you could have somebody look at it and try to figure that out. But that's pretty common too.
Yeah, so basically the short version of the story is just be really careful, do as much CYA.
If you're going to buy at the auction, that's totally fine, because there are good deals there and there's a lot of nice cars. Not all of them are trash.
Right.
But have somebody that knows what they're doing go look at it for you, or go with somebody that knows what they're doing, or hire somebody to do it.
If you can.
100%. I wouldn't buy sight unseen, especially from these collector car auctions. Now, not after what I saw.
That's true. I mean, that's true of any time you buy a car, right?
Right.
Whether or not it's an auction.
The problem with like Barrett and Mecum and stuff is you can't go drive the car. You can't even start them really. You can go and kind of sit in some of them. Some of them are roped off. Just be really careful.
For us, the wholesale stuff is like the Wild West. It's just,
Yeah.
it's awful. And to be fair, like we've gotten some good cars at auction too. It's just every once in a while someone drops a turd on us, and it's really unfortunate, because if they had been honest about it, we still probably would have been interested, but obviously we wouldn't have paid as much. So
Right.
that's what sucks about it.
It's a dumping ground for cars that some dealer or somebody doesn't want, and they want to pass the problem on to someone else. Typically, those are the ones you got to watch out for.
Yep.
They'll get you.
Well, anyway, like, share, and subscribe, hit the notification bell, normalguysupercar.com, ngsupercars.com, visit those websites, and we appreciate you guys' support. Buy cars from us, we talk about them, and you can come
We
look
also
at them.
do consultations if you want us to go look at a car for you at an auction or private party or dealer or whatever.
Absolutely.
We do that too.
Yeah, we've done hundreds of cars at this
Yeah.
point, so it's awesome. Anyway, we'll see you guys next one. We'll be doing a lot of cool car stuff. You're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.